During the 2022 Game Awards, we saw a game from Airship Syndicate, the developers of Darksiders Genesis and Ruined King, a League of Legends story, and it's being published by Digital Extremes, creators of Warframe. That game is Wayfinder. What is Wayfinder? From the website, Wayfinder is a character-based online action role-playing game where we'll choose from a variety of characters to control, each with unique playstyles and abilities, and harness their power to defend against enemies that seek to destroy their beloved world. We will be able to explore dungeons, hunt beasts, and battle enemies to gather crafting materials for weapons, housing, augments, and more that will be of utmost importance in strengthening our character and pushing back a hostile force called the Gloom. Wayfinder is inspired by MMOs with an always online world, housing in the form of apartments, building communities, and going on adventures with friends or random people that might become friends. Unlike MMOs, there isn't a character creator. Instead, we'll be playing with a pre-made character which is known as a Wayfinder. These characters will have their own storylines, voice acting, and unique abilities, and we'll be able to switch between Wayfinders when we want to, and leveling up various Wayfinders will unlock bonuses and some kind of mastery points account-wide. Although we can't create a character, there'll be different weapons, armor, and talent points that we can mess around with to fit our personal playstyles. There'll be a set number of Wayfinders at the start, with more being introduced over time from a seasonal model where they say there will be a new Wayfinder along with a bunch of other challenges and loot every 3 months. I'll have another video coming out going over the Wayfinders that we know about and their skills, so make sure you subscribe with noties on so you know when that next video drops. But as it stands now, there are 4 different types of weapons: sword and board, dual blades, rifles, and two-handed melee, and the weapons themselves can also have unique abilities. Unlike the characters, the gameplay is pretty MMO-like. There'll be a main quest, side quest, expeditions, we get an apartment that we can customize, and there are world bosses, but the main highlight of this game is something called the Lost Zones. These zones are instance dungeons that we'll journey into to find loot and take on bosses. They say that no 2 lost zones will be the same, and with an item that we get called the Gloom Dagger, we'll be able to modify how the lost zones work with mutators which will change the loot and the difficulty of the instance. For example, when an enemy die, they might leave a puddle of fire, or if enemies cross into the shadow puddle, they might become enraged. As far as the monetization goes, the game will be free to play, and they seem to be leaning on Digital Extremes to help them with getting everything set up to be pretty fair, with everything being sold in the store being earnable in game. There will be an early access release on Steam, PS4, and PS5, and you get into that by buying a Founder's Pack. There won't be a wipe or progression reset either during the early access period, so you can pretty much say it's the game launch. Of course, we won't just be getting early access. There will be unique items like cosmetics, pets, and mounts that you can only get from the Founder's Pack, and the higher level Founder's Pack that you purchase, the more rewards you get. While we don't know what the cost will be, it is optional and there isn't any PvP, so we will just have to hope that people will be nice enough to carry us through some lost zones. In the FAQ, it states that there will be crossplay and cross-save when it is out of early access and fully released. I don't know the reason for the wait, and it is possible that it could change in the future. We don't have the final release date yet, but it will be on PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Series S and X, and also Steam. Make sure to give the video a like to feed the almighty algolord, and here's a second reminder to subscribe for more content about Wayfinder.